Hello and welcome to the Antiquarian Outlook for week 37 of 2025, starting September 8th. I'm Spencer W. Stuart, Collections Advisor, author of Contemporary Issues in Rare Books and Manuscript Collecting, and host of the monthly webinar, Collecting Insights. For more details on my services, publications, and programs, follow the links below, along with links to the various auctions mentioned in this program. Alright, let's get into last week's results. Wednesday, Bonhams had prints. There were 354 lots offered, of which 281 sold, making for a 79% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was for lot 12, Roy Lichtenstein's Crying Girl from 1963, an offset lithograph. Estimates were set at $12,000 to $18,000 US, realizing just above $28,000 US. A couple buy-ins of note: lot 13, Andy Warhol's screen print Some Men Need Help from 1982. Estimates were set at $15,000 to $20,000 US, as well as lot 29, again Andy Warhol, Mildred's Shield from 1980, as well as screen print. Estimates again set at $15,000 to $20,000 US. A lot that exceeded expectation was 176. This lithograph after Pablo Picasso, a plate from the series Les Portraits Imaginaires from 1969. Estimates were set at $2,000 to $3,000 US, realizing just under $18,000 US. Freeman's Hinman had fine printed books and manuscripts, including Americana. There were 297 lots offered, of which 273 sold, making for a 92% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was for lot 264. This official and first obtainable broadside printing of Lincoln's final Emancipation Proclamation, published around January 1863. Estimates were set at $30,000 to $50,000 US, realizing just above $70,000 US. A lot that exceeded expectation was 254. This archive of various material, including manuscripts and family items, connected to the marine biologist James Sowerby. Estimates were set at $1,000 to $1,500 US, realizing $12,800 US. Hanson's had the library auction. There were 244 lots offered, of which 136 sold, making for a 56% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was for lot 91, this third rabbinic Bible, published in Venice by Daniel Baumberg between 1546 and 1548. This copy in particular was from the Tim Lutz collection. Estimates were set at £2,000 to £3,000, realizing £11,000. Couple buy-ins of note: lot 171. This 1687 copy of the works of Chaucer. Estimates were set at £2,000 to £3,000, as well as lot 176. This collection of off-prints connected to Andrew Stevenson Biggard, occasional papers on Forth and Tay bridges, signed and inscribed by the author to his father, published between 1884 through to 1890. Estimates again were set at £2,000 to £3,000. A lot that exceeded expectation was 56. This 1833 Hebrew Bible, published in what is now Turkey. Estimates were set at £300 to £500, realizing £3,200. Grant Zaharsko auctions had mob, gangsters, true crime, and criminal memorabilia. There were 224 lots offered, of which 202 sold, making for a 90% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was for lot 16. This mugshot, as well as fingerprints of Charles Lucky Luciano from around February of 1930. Estimates were set at $15,000 to $20,000 US, realizing $3,000 US. A buy-in of note: lot 17, again connected to Charles Lucky Luciano. Again mugshots as well as fingerprints from around the same time, February 1931. Estimates were set again at $15,000 to $20,000 US. RR Auctions had fine autographs and artifacts. All 565 lots offered sold. Highest price realized was for lot 4. This document signed by Thomas Jefferson as Secretary of State, endorsing the Act of Congress to promote the progress of useful arts, also known as the Patent Act of 1793. Bidding started at $35,000 US, realizing $58,432 US. A lot that exceeded expectation was 1. This certificate signed by George Washington, discharging a veteran soldier from the 2nd New York Artillery Regiment, dated June 7, 1783. Bidding started at $10,000 US, realizing $56,783. Kessenbaum and Company had rare Hebrew books from the library of the late Dr. Michael D. Paul, Part 2. There were 200 lots offered, of which 169 sold, making for an 84.5% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was for lot 147, a prayer book for Passover, specifically connected to the rites according to the Ashkenazi customs, published in 1280 in what is now Germany. Estimates were set at $60,000 and $90,000 US, realizing $81,656 US. A buy-in of note, lot 158. This Psalter published in Venice by Daniel Bomberg in 1515. Estimates were set at $12,000 to $18,000 US. A volume that combined 3 ethical works, published again by Daniel Bomberg in Venice in around 1546. Estimates were set at $2,000 to $3,000 US, realizing $29,940 US. On to Thursday, Bonham Skinner had photographs. There were 156 lots offered, of which 118 sold, making for a 76% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was for lot 4, this Ansel Adams print of Moonrise, Hernandez, New Mexico, taken in 1941. However, the print was produced between 1973 and 1977. Estimates were set at $25,000 to $35,000 US, realizing $38,400 US. A few buy-ins of note, lots 137 through to 138, all portraits done by Alfred Stieglitz of one of his patrons, Dorothy Norman, all prints coming from her personal estate. In all 4 cases, the estimates were set at $15,000 to $25,000 US. Forum Auctions had an online sale, books and works on paper. There were 298 lots offered, of which 271 sold, making for a 91% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was for 19, the original woodblock engraving for the Golden Cockerel Press for 1933. Estimates were set at £3,000 to £4,000, realizing £8,000. A buy-in of note, 3 theatrical costume designs for the 1949 West End revival of Charlie's Aunt, done by Cecil Beaton in around 1949. Estimates were set at £800 to £1,200. Finishing off Thursday, PBA Galleries had the photography book collection of Terry Etherton. There were 477 lots offered, of which 346 sold, making for a 72.5% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was for lot 269. This 4-volume catalog of the photographs from the Manfred Hating collection at the Museum of Fine Arts, Houston, published between 1995 and 2009. Estimates were set at $400 to $600 US, realizing $6,250 US. A buy-in of note, lot 179, David Heath's personal copy of Emmett Gowan's Concerning America and Alfred Stieglitz and myself, including an autographed letter, self-published by Gowan in 1965. Estimates were set at $25,000 to $35,000 US. In the news, registration is now open for the October sessions of Collecting Insights. As always, all registrants will receive a complimentary copy of Contemporary Issues in Rare Books and Manuscript Collecting. So follow the links below and see which session would have the most relevant content for you. We look forward to receiving your registration, and if you have any questions, please get in touch directly. For a hyperlinked list of next week's auctions we have an eye on, please get in touch with us directly. The Antiquarian Outlook is totally independent. Its producers do not hold inventory, nor do they represent any consignments or acquisitions mentioned. Well, that's been the week from here. What did you think of last week's results? Was there anything that surprised you? Anything you had your eye on? Please make sure to put some comments below, and we'll keep the conversation going. Remember, if you want to stay up to date, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on your notifications, and let others know about this program. Thanks again for tuning in. All for now. See you next week.